Welcome back to the DIYnanny channel. I've just cleaned up this whole crafting space and I am so thrilled and ready to craft. So let's just dive into it. I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's do it. This video is going to be another mini cake replicas from felt. I know it's becoming a habit now. I actually didn't think I'm gonna do it again, but here I am. So let me tell you the story from the beginning. So a while back, while I was making the other two cake replicas, I was scrolling through Instagram Reels and I saw this beautiful black and white cake. I have a lot of cakes in my Instagram Reels. What can I say? I love cake decorations. And I immediately thought, this is a beautiful cake. I should make a replica out of it. And I even started to think how I would go about it. But because I was making the other two cakes at the time, I thought this is not a good time for it. And I just saved the reel and moved on. Then a few weeks ago, I was on my Facebook and in my feed popped up this beautiful cake, a completely different cake. And I was thinking, this is gorgeous, I should make it. I went in to the account and while I was scrolling, I saw the other black and white cake and I was like, okay, this is a sign. Now I have to make both cakes. So this is what you're gonna see me doing. These two cakes are by this account called Sweet Josie Bakes. She has a lot of gorgeous cakes on her account, and after scrolling through basically all of them, my two favorite are still the two cakes I'm gonna make with you right here. So let's go. I'm gonna start with the black and white one because it's the first one I saw and also because I think it's gonna be a bit easier. I have some black and white felt. This one is glitter, but I'm gonna use this side because this is what I've got in my house. I'm gonna cut strips out of them, sew it together in the sewing machine, and then use it as a whole piece to go around the cake. I have this color here for the gold drip. I'm not sure if I'm gonna cut it in the machine or by hand because it doesn't go all around. It's just little drips around the cake, so I'll see how to do that. I have already cut whipped cream. It's from another project. I didn't use it, so I'm going to use those. And the cookies are similar to what I did in the blue cake. So I have a design for it already. So I just need to cut it and assemble this whole thing together. So we're going to start with this, and then I'll have to think really hard about the other cake because I have no idea how to execute that. So let's start with this one and see where we go. So I cut 3 of each color. Each one is an inch, but it's gonna be less than 6 inches since I'm gonna sew it like this inside in the sewing machine and flip it. I don't want it to be that tall of a cake, although it is a tall cake. She has like, I think 12 strips there, but this is a mini replica, so it's gonna be less. And then when I'm done with that, I'm gonna cut the rest in my Cricut, the circles, the cookies, the rest of the whipped cream, and maybe the drip, and then I'll assemble everything together. Okay, this came out so cute. I already put this piece of adhesive foam in the back. It's for structure, but also I needed to straighten it up a little bit. I have my top and bottom here. I chose black for the bottom just because it ends with black, but it doesn't really matter. And I have this golden drip. I just kind of cut pieces on Design Space. I cut pieces of the previous drip I have, the purple one, and kind of adjusted the size so it fit with this design. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna use some hot glue to glue this to the base, I'll go back to my sewing machine to close this loop and flip it, and then I'm gonna sit comfortably on my sofa and connect the top and bottom by hand. Welcome to my next day, another day, another crafting, but it's the same crafting. I finished the cake. I finished the base of the first cake. As you can see here, the lines do not align perfectly. Because I had the adhesive foam before I closed the loop, it was kind of hard to move it in the machine, so it didn't come out perfect. But I already have a solution for this. I cut this little drip from my leftover felt, and if I put it like this on top of the stitch, you basically don't notice it. So I'm gonna do that. I also cut little pieces that can go kind of on top to be the beginning of the drip. You can see it in the original video that it starts from here, and then the cookies and cream goes on top. I'm gonna wait with this a little bit. I'll finish everything for the toppings, then I'm gonna put it together, see if it looks good, and if it does, I'll edit. So let's move on to the cookies. So last time with the blue cake, I just showed you the finished product. This time I'm gonna show you how I'm making the cookies. So I have two pieces for the cookies on both sides. This is the same glitter black I have, because this is what I've got, and I'm gonna use the other side. Or wait, let me see. That's cute. I'm gonna use the glitter side. Decision making. I'm gonna use the glitter side. Then I have a smaller piece for the filling, and then I have these adhesive foam pieces that are a bit smaller even than the filling. I'm gonna link the design so you can have all the sizes if you want to make it. The adhesive foam didn't cut all the way. I'm using the fine point blade because this is the blade I've got. And I don't know if I didn't pick the right material. Oh, it's not supposed to cut it, but at least it kind of mark the circles, and then I continue with scissors. So the way I do it, I'm gonna do it on the other side since I'm using the glitter. I'm just gonna put it kind of in the middle of the two pieces, the two black pieces for the cookies. All right, then I just take the hot glue around and kind of fold the felt in on the adhesive foam. And then when I have the two pieces ready, I just add some glue, mostly around to close it, but also a little bit in the middle. And I connect it to the filling, basically. So let me show you how to create this whipped cream. So I have two of this flower design whipped cream. This one is a bit smaller. It wasn't on purpose, it's just I needed 4 more. So I cut from a different design and it wasn't exactly the same size, but pretty close in size. It can be the same size, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna start with the big though to be the bottom. So what I do, I'll just go with a needle and thread in the corner from the inside always, and I'll go around till I get to the start. I don't need to repeat the one that I already started with since I'm gonna tie it together. I pull it a little bit, then I use a little ball of filling. I put it inside and I kind of pull together and then tie it up like this. And this is usually how I create whipped cream for other things. I'm gonna double knot it just a sec. And then I have this little cute whipped cream. Now I want to make it like in the design in the cake to make it a bit taller. So I'm gonna add another one and I'm just gonna continue with the same thread that's connected to this one. I'm gonna go in the middle of this one. So you see it's sitting on top, but this time I'm not gonna go in the corners. I'm gonna go a little bit lower, kind of in the middle of this leaf or half moon or something like that, and I'm gonna go around. That's because I kind of want the corner to stick out a little bit, to look like the end of like a piping whipped cream. So I'm gonna go around, and this time I will go in again in the first stitch, since I don't have a thread to tie it together. So I'm gonna pull this a little bit as well. I'm gonna get a little bit more filling, put it in, and start pulling. And I'll try to make sure the corners are kind of popping out a little bit. I can do it later as well. And to close it up, I'm just gonna go with the needle in back to the bottom of the second one where I have the other end of the thread, and I'm gonna pull it as much as I can and tie it together. Now I'm gonna secure it in the middle in between them with some hot glue, since it's just one thread and I don't want it to be moving around. But basically this is it. I can pull a little bit on the little corner so it look a little bit more messy, and that's it. This is gonna be the whipped cream. So 1 down, 5 more to go. Okay, so let's move on to cake number 2. Now this one is very different from the cake I did so far. The 3 cakes I made all had a drip and either whipped cream or a different whipped cream with cookies on top. This one has flowers around the top, and it has this beautiful design all around the cake, and I was kind of thinking how to go about it. I was thinking maybe embroidery, but I didn't like how it looks when I tried it. So I'm gonna try and cut it all from felt, and we'll see if it works out. Let me show you my design on Design Space. So this is my design. I have the 2 circles for top and bottom. The reason it's in different color is just because I don't have enough of the felt that I want. So I'm gonna use this blue color for the bottom instead. Then I have the body of the cake. I made this orange design with some squares and rectangles. On top I have the flowers. I just look for petal images and put it together. It's going to cut separately and I'm gonna sew it in. I just put it like this so I can estimate how many I need. And then down here I have the spiral flowers. In my last video I tried the spiral flowers with paper and it looked really good. So I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out if I cut it from felt. So that's basically it. Let's go cut it. I got all my pieces cut for the second cake. I got the top and bottom. Like I said, I don't have enough of this color, so this will have to be the bottom. I have these petals for the flowers, and I'm gonna put them together with some hot glue. And I have the spiral flowers. I was very curious to see how it's gonna work with felt, so I already rolled one, and look at this. Look at this cutie. It's adorable. I didn't even glue it yet. It's just kind of holding itself together somehow. I know that in the original cake, the shape is a bit different, but I kind of like it, so I'm gonna keep it like this. And for the design, the pattern on the cake, so what I did, I cut it all together. It was attached together in my design, and to peel it off, I used a piece of transfer tape on the other side, because I was thinking the easiest way to do it is to try to keep it together in the shape, and then take out the frame. I'll try to weed it out, basically, the frame from the transfer tape, and then slowly kind of put hot glue and go over with the other color of the base. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to try to weed this out and then glue it to the base, and we'll take it from there. Alright, so I'm done with the base of the second cake. This pattern was a bit of a struggle weaving it and gluing it. There was a lot of hot glue mess here that I had to clean up, and I might have to even reinforce some of the pieces. So I don't know if my methods were the best. I can think about another idea that would be better, but overall the outcome is pretty cool. And now I have the flowers here to go around the top. I finished making them as well. But before we do that, in the original cake, on the bottom, there's like those little leaves that go all around. So I want to create this as well, but I don't want to go piece by piece because it will be cut in very small pieces. And I don't know if I'm up to it. So what I'm gonna do, and I already started, let me show you. I'm gonna create this kind of ruffle, and it will be similar. I'm gonna cut it, and then I'm just gonna continue connecting it to here. I have two pieces here already. And it's not the exact same pattern as the original cake. I'm gonna push it in a little bit, so it's not gonna look exactly like the leaves, obviously, but I think it's enough, and it's much easier to glue like a whole piece, a big piece like this, instead of just putting little ones. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do the flowers, and then I'll be done.